Welcome back to the Core Cars News Tech Lab. Today we're going to take a look at my list of the best Roku channels from 2019. These are Roku channels I think that did something interesting in 2019 that helped them stand out. Now this is my personal list. I'd love to know what you think about this list. Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. What would you add to this list from the official Roku channel store? Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it because it helps us out by letting YouTube know you enjoy what we do. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and maybe discover a new Roku channel you didn't know about. Also, a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Smart News. It's an app available for iOS and Android, which allows you to surf the web from a variety of trusted news sources. I've been using this app for a little while now, and I've really enjoyed it. It allows you to access news from a growing list of news sources out there with dedicated categories like technology, which allows me to stay up on some of the biggest trends happening in the world of cord cutting and the world of technology in general, so I don't miss out on anything. I also discovered a lot of news organizations I didn't know about before, and I love the ability to jump back and forth between different categories like news and technology and more. I've been using the app for a while now, and the longer I use it, the better it gets. I usually read a few articles in the morning and just a few throughout the day as I have some free time. I was discovering interesting things that I didn't know about before. There's a link in the show notes down below, or if you want to check it out, I would highly recommend it. All right, let's get into the top 10 brand new Roku channels, or not necessarily new, but some of them are new. And the top 10 ones I think had the biggest impact in 2019, starting off with the Apple TV app. Now, Apple TV came to Roku very late this year, but it made a big impact that the Apple TV app here allows you to access a huge collection of content from around the web. And through iTunes and more. So you can manage your subscriptions on other platforms and have them all appear right here instead of needing to access multiple different apps out there, much like how the Roku channel and others have done this. But if you're heavily invested in the Apple iOS user experience, now you can access all that content right here on the Roku. So another thing I really liked about it is how responsive this is, how beautiful it is. It really set the bar a lot here for what can be done with a Roku channel. Often I think Roku gets an unfair reputation of, hey, it's not as beautiful as the Apple, or it's not as beautiful as the other streaming players. And then you look at this and you see smooth transitions, great load times, and more, which I really love. I also love how Roku allows you to rent and buy movies right from it. On other platforms, you can view things you've already purchased through the Apple TV app, but you can't buy new content. You can also access the new Apple TV Plus streaming service here if you want to subscribe to that and access it there. So the Apple TV app is top of my list because it really did show off the fact that you can get a beautiful user interface. You can really have a smooth user experience on a Roku, and it honestly set the bar for a lot of competing apps out there to raise the quality of what they do. Next up is Canopy. There is Canopy and others out there. Hoopla is another one where you can log in and get access to a ton of content from your local library. Now this is 100% free and 100% ad-free movies and television shows here. Now the lineup is a little bit different depending on your library, what they pay for, so keep that in mind. But you can access so much content. And you're already paying for it by having taxes that support your local library. So I would highly encourage you, if you are a cord cutter or you own a Roku, check out Canopy, check out Hoopla, see what your local library offers. They also offer a lot more than movies and television shows. A lot of these services offer access to ebooks, audiobooks, music, and more. So I really love it. Great way to get audiobooks too. So that's Canopy, and I love the fact that's bringing the public library to your home. You don't even need to go there. All right, next up is the Roku channel. So the Roku channel's been around for a little while. It's Roku's free streaming service, plus they added a lot more. They added live TV this year. They added the ability to subscribe to different streaming services. They added a dedicated kids section here where you can get a ton of stuff added or watch through there. They're even doing an unlocked series. For instance, from Christmas to the New Year, you will be able to watch the first season of Game of Thrones and a lot of other content for free here. Don't want to have a ton of different apps to subscribe to and manage? Don't worry. There is a single place right here where I can subscribe to Hallmark Movies Now, Epix, HBO, Starz, Showtime, and so many more, and watch them all in a single place, have one login, have one username, and access it right here, which I really love. So check that out. So the Roku channel has really been aggressive. They've really seemed to have cut down on the number of ads we've been seeing. And I really like the collection of content they're bringing. So the Roku channel is on my list for continuing to innovate all year long, to bring new content to the platform, to not be afraid to say, hey, we're going to keep our ad quantity low in the hopes that people subscribe and watch to services through here and watch even more content. Next up is Pluto TV. You've probably heard me talk about this a lot. So what is new in 2019? Well, there's a new owner at Pluto TV called Viacom CBS now. Originally, Viacom bought it. Recently, Viacom completed their merger with CBS to become Viacom CBS. And they've been adding so much more content here. There are over 170 some partners now. That includes content on here, including the BBC, Discovery, and more. Viacom is just one of those partners. Fox Sports, CNN, BBC, Discovery. I think there's even still content from the Weather Channel in here. Some of their shows and more showing up. So I would highly recommend you check it out. They even have a massive on-demand collection of movies and television shows here. And you see a bunch of James Bond movies and more. Thankfully, with the merger of Viacom and CBS, we may even be seeing more come up here. But a lot of Viacom content has been added in 2019. And they've really worked to bring some premium content to it. So Pluto TV gets my vote there for the merger with Viacom buying them, the merger with CBS, just bringing so much content to Pluto TV. Next up is Disney Plus. This has to be on any list of the biggest trends or the biggest impacts on cord and cutting of 2019. Disney Plus needs to be on that list. It came in and just blew away all expectations of how well it would do, with a huge collection of content at a reasonable price and some really good original content like The Mandalorian on there, the new High School Musical show, the Imagineering story. I've been really enjoying that if you haven't checked it out. But right along classics like Avatar, Frozen, Toy Story, and more. So great amount of content here. Disney Plus. And it is even a really nice app. They really did a good job here of making this work smoothly, the playback and everything work well. Yeah, some features weren't there at launch, but they've been slowly adding new features to it to make it even better. All right, next up is the Weather Nation. In 2019, Weather Nation really expanded their live coverage of major weather events. So Weather Nation is a free weather channel that streams for free on your Roku 24/7. They even have on-demand content. And with all the hurricanes and other big things happening recently, they've really upped their game from just being a studio show like you see here to going out in the field. When a hurricane threatens several parts of the country, they've been there and they have been offering content there. So check it out. If you miss like the Weather Channel, you don't want to pay for a service that offers the Weather Channel, check out Weather Nation, 100% for free on your Roku. And if you would select this, it would go full screen. You can do different things like weather on demand, so your 36-hour, your daily calendar, and more. All right, so next up is CBS News. Again, another one that's been around a while, but what's new this year with CBS News is a lot more of the smaller news focuses. They've added a lot of content here, including like an e-network for 24/7 lifestyle sports. They've really expanded their lineup. Let me go down to the bottom of local news ones. Just recently, they added a feed for Minnesota, a dedicated one, New York, I think Boston, the Bay Area, and more. With Philadelphia coming early next year, where not only do you get national news, but you get local news with it. So check this all out. It's a great way for 24/7 news. And there's a lot of 24/7 news options out there. And the reason I picked CBS News is because they've really been investing in it. They've gone from just a few hours of original content when it first launched to a huge collection of original programming, apps, and focuses on specific areas and specific cities like New York City. You get both your local and national news. And they've also launched, the CBS Sports HQ, the E! Entertainment, 24/7 News Network, and more. Next up is Stir, and this one is really interesting because not only does it bring you local news, but it also brings you access to the ability to watch content from different organizations and more, including some sub-channels. Now, for a long time, people always said, hey, I love to stream Comment, I love to stream Buzzard, I love to stream these different channels I get with my antenna, but maybe come in weak. Now with Stir, you can do that. You have the ability here to watch, for instance, Buzzard, the classic game show network, Comet, Charge, and more. They've been adding more and more networks all the time, and they even added additional markets now where they cover local news. So check this out, the Stir app, both for live and on-demand access here, and I really love it to access like my Comet, my Buzzard, my Charge channels, and more through my Roku, so I can watch them even without an antenna. All right, USGA. This is a app or Roku channel that focuses on golf, and the interesting thing here about this is it really gives an example of how sports are moving away from the middleman of cable TV to reach out directly. Now with this app, there's a absolutely massive collection of 100% free content. Here are 4+ hour re-airings of like the 2019 US Open final round, the US Senior Open, and more. You can watch them replay. So if you're a golf fan, there's so much content here. And now we're seeing things like the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more, talking about how can we go more direct to the end consumer, not necessarily for free, but for at least a reasonable cost. So keep an eye on it. USGA gets my vote as one of the best Roku channels of 2019 because it really has said, hey, we understand we have a lot of fans out there, and we understand that not necessarily everybody's going to be paying for cable, and honestly, we can't get cable to air all of our content. So we're going to make it available for free right here with ads, huge replays, huge amount of content, and more. So for setting the bar for other sports organizations, huge fan of it. Thumbs up. And lastly, Voodoo. Now, Voodoo's been around for a while. They were bought a long time ago by Walmart, and it's a movie store, right? You probably think, I buy and rent movies here. Why? What's great about this? Well, they've done a lot of things. For one, they've really expanded their free with ads. They said, hey, we want you to buy movies and television shows, but we're going to entice you by offering great content here, like the JFK movie, the Scooby-Doo movies, and more for free with ads. They've even started to create original programming exclusively available here, been getting good reviews of it so far. And just this week, they announced that, hey, if you rent a movie here and in the first 30 minutes you say, this was not good, did not enjoy this, they'll actually refund you your money now in the form of a credit so you can go get a different movie. Or if you find a better deal out there, they will now go and price match. So if you rent Rambo: The Last Blood and you're like, I just didn't like it, you can get your money back. Just don't tell them that. So it's a really great deal. I would highly recommend it. I love that they're getting aggressive. They're saying, hey, we're going to not only sell you movies, we're going to offer free content, and we're going to give you a guarantee that you'll love this, or in the first 30 minutes, we'll give you a refund. So check this out, Voodoo. It's available on the Roku. It's one more channel store too. So that is it for this list. Let me do a quick recap. We got the Apple TV app for really showing off what a high quality Roku channel could be. Canopy and Hoopla for a ton of free movies and television show from your local library. The Roku channel and Pluto TV, huge collections of free content there and growing. Disney Plus, you can't talk about 2019 and cord cutting and not talk about Disney Plus. The Weather Channel, from going from a small organization to really getting out there, really going and covering the weather on the ground. CBS News, Stir, I love having access to all the sub channels on it. USGA for bringing free movies or free golf coverage out there to golf fans. Hopefully more sports follow their lead. And Voodoo for access to free movies and television shows. So that's it. That's the list I have for my top 10. I'll put links to them in the show notes down below. You leave me a comment. You let me know what you think of this. I'll love to hear from you. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow with more cord-cutting news, tips, tricks, and reviews, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. We really appreciate it.